Hey, have you guys ever heard of Patreon?
I think I have.
Yeah, I think it's like a royal guard.
It's that maybe, but also it's a website where podcasters and other creators can get people to give them money for making their product.
You mean
Go
we
on.
can get paid for this?
Kind of. For a mere $3 a month, you, loyal listener, can feed or get drunk a starving podcaster.
I feel like we need some like Sarah McLachlan behind this kind of. I will remember you.
I almost did with arms wide open. I was like, that's not the song.
That's how you get people to not give you money.
So check it out. Patreon.com/worstpeople. That's WORSE. $3 a month. You get access to exclusive episodes. Find us, love us, support us. Thank you.
Let the bunnies hit the floor. Let the bunnies hit the floor. Let the bunnies hit the floor. Let the bunnies hit the.
Okay. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
This is Bad Movies.
Worst people.
What are we doing here?
Welcome back for the final week of our Made in Arizona month with a movie that was actually made completely in Arizona.
Unlike everything else we've watched, which is like little tidbits
Yeah,
of
this
Arizona.
scene or that segment.
Oh no, so much of this was even in Tucson.
Tucson,
Wait,
Sahuarita,
quick pause.
Ajo.
Name of the movie. Get to it.
Oh yeah,
Night of the Lepus.
Night of the
Or
Lepus.
I think they said in the movie
it's
they said Lepus.
Lepus.
Well, they're rabbits. Lepus sounds better than Lepus.
Yes, it's
Lepus
Night of
sounds more like a leper. It's like a zombie movie.
Night of the Lepus. So
Night
it's
of the Lepus.
also known as the Night of the Attack of the Killer Rabbits.
A Night of the
something.
Attack of the Killer Rabbits?
Yeah.
Wow,
I
what
didn't
is
see
that?
that,
Like
but
a
I did
sign in
see-
Tombstone?
I did
That was-
see during the opening credits, it said it's based on the book, The Year of the Angry Rabbit.
Yeah.
That's just like Chinese proverbs.
And by based on that book, I guarantee you it's a book about the actual rabbit invasion stuff that they were talking about and has nothing to do with giant rabbits killing people.
Yeah.
But yes, this movie made in 1972, so it's a little later than the usual Durka classic movies stuff we're going to do. But I could have sworn it was earlier. This giant animal thing is definitely a late 50s.
Yes, but
Early
it hits the
60s
criteria of Made in Arizona a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
made in
it
Arizona,
does.
and it's a classic movie, and it's a monster movie, kind of.
if you're from here, you're going to recognize some of the scenery, whether it be
The U of A.
U of A, or one of these abandoned highways you've definitely pulled over and pissed on.
I just
Yeah.
love both of you guys were like, I think I recognize that. And I'm like, it all looks like that. all
yes,
of it.
but I,
I know that
recognize that
wash.
junction. I've peed in that ditch.
Yes, on the 83.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just off the 83.
Yeah, but this was 72. It's all changed. Well, maybe not down there.
No, not down there.
Yeah, down there is still real similar to what we have.
We've
in
been
this
together.
movie.
We've been together 9 years.
Okay, don't brag.
9 years,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
10 years ago, I was living out there.
Yeah.
Oh, so was I don't want to mention names, but ex-girlfriend.
Not the not imaginary
The
roommate
not
because I know
imaginary,
her now.
yeah. No, she when we first started dating, which was maybe
Oh.
20 years ago, she lived out in Sahuarita.
Okay.
So I mean it's a little different.
Yeah. It's not too different. I mean, I did also just recently watch another movie that was made in Tucson that we're not doing this year, obviously, but we will do, called The Black Crystal. And a lot of it takes place on highways southwest that direction.
Okay.
And
I
it,
used to
it looked a
live
lot
there.
like this, and that was made in like the early 90s. So
I mean, this talks about Empire Ranch. Like my family, we've hunted fucking javelina there.
yeah, it said it was shot on Empire Ranch. A lot of it was shot at Empire Ranch in Sonoyta, which I imagine might be where, I guess the Loft, which is a local movie theater, art house theater, just did a screening outdoors at a place where this was filmed. And I would imagine it's Empire Ranch if it still
13
exists. So,
Stuff over
13
there is different. Like you could do that there.
yeah.
13 years ago, I lived out at Kenny and Bob, so I really close to the town of Ajo, where also this took place, and it kind of looks like
Yeah.
that.
Ajo was where a lot of it was shot, and a lot of it took place. But yes, so this movie was actually made completely in
Arizona.
Tucson, or Arizona, Tucson, and the surrounding regions.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by a man named William F. Claxton, who directed a lot of westerns. Did like, oh fuck, I already forgot it, but it doesn't matter. Western shit.
Yeah.
It's that show with a B that's western. Not Bounty Law. That's fake.
I was like, hey, dude.
The
That's from
Bifle
Once Upon a
Man.
Time in Hollywood. It doesn't matter. He did a bunch of that stuff. He did a bunch of episodes
Bonanza?
of Twilight
Green
Zone. Bonanza.
Acres.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
that's it?
Yeah.
Bonanza.
Yes, he did a bunch of Bonanza. He did a bunch of Gunsmoke. He did some
Okay.
Twilight Zone.
I was Miss Kitty for Halloween when I was in 4th
You
grade.
should have said bum smoke because you said with a B.
Well, B was the Bonanza one.
Oh, Bum Smoke's a better movie.
I feel
it
like
works
I
for
saw those when I was in
Arizona.
high school. It was called Bum. No, that was Bum Fights.
There's some smoking in there.
Yeah. Shouldn't watch those things. High schoolers are stupid.
Yeah.
And apparently this cost about $900,000.
I mean, this is a
I'm
fucking...
going to assume a lot of it went to DeForest Kelly.
This is a song at the time. Like, this is nothing.
Well, $900,000 in 1972 is like $2 million now. So yeah,
least.
Still nothing. And
Yeah.
I think you're under. This is probably nowadays like a $5 to $6 million movie. Still nothing.
But
Yeah.
nowadays it would be shot with CG bunnies, and these giant bunnies are not CG.
No.
No.
Okay.
They're also
so,
barely giant. So let's get into it.
let's get into it because I have some things to say.
There's not a lot to talk about in this movie because not really much happened. It was really hard to even like. So then they talked about how rabbits do stuff.
Yeah.
Get to the actors because nobody's given a performance, but
We start with they talk about a real thing, overpopulation. First of all, overpopulation of like the world and how it handles with animals as well, and then about how rabbits had really like basically taken over like Australia and New Zealand.
they brought him in
Which is real.
for pest number 1 and then just, whatever it was. I can't remember what they were trying to get him to kill.
Yeah.
But then they
Aphids?
overpopulated and then they tried to poison them, which killed the birds, which gave bugs life. Not the movie. Not the one with Dave Foley. But then, so you got no crops. It's even worse.
And they segue that into it's also happening here in the United States. Look at this place in the American Southwest, and then they just show people wrangling rabbits, which is really funny.
Dude, these rabbits are throwing themselves at this fence.
they are chucking, like dive bombing, running start, slamming into these.
I don't know
fences.
what they think is happening, but they're scared.
Super scared.
And Whitney kept, rightfully so, by the way, waiting for something bad to be shown about a rabbit being grossly mistreated.
Oh, God.
We don't get anything that I can notice. Maybe there was something, but
They're just really manhandled.
I was expecting something worse. At one point in this movie, a fucking rabbit gets lit on fire, and luckily,
Oh my God.
it's a terrible puppet. But I thought it might not be for a half a second.
You're good. I
Did you
got very
just
excited.
girly out, dude? You
Yes.
just like,
I just got so excited. I'm sorry. So I had not checked on all these actors. Rory Calhoun,
Yes.
who was first credited because he's like the biggest actor of this movie.
I looked him up and he was pretty when he was younger.
Rory Calhoun was in some movies I just watched, and he was my favorite character. So I was just watching, and I may have
Oh,
mentioned
so you
it
really
on,
fangirled right
yeah.
now.
I just,
You know,
I
just
may-
for the listeners, so just to give you an idea of what Derek looked like, watch Birdcage
Yes!
when Nathan Lang accidentally hawks the horn. That's the movements that Derek made.
This guy was in. I think I mentioned him on the air on a recent episode, but I watched a series of movies recently called Angel with a girl. A young
have
girl.
mentioned
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I mentioned that. I think it was when we were.
Yeah,
doing
When
the
I was
movie
working.
day.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I made fun of the fact that you're like it's an entertaining 16-year-old
Yes, it's about a
prostitute
16-year-old
movie.
prostitute. But he was one of her people that hung out with her. He was the wannabe Sam Elliott,
Was that him?
the old
Oh,
cowboy
shit.
that was walking around with the guns, teaching her how to shoot and stuff.
Oh,
His name's
shit.
Kit Carson in the movie. That was him. It was Rory
Aw,
Calhoun.
you really loved
and
him.
he was the best part of that movie.
He might have been the best part of this movie, and that's not saying a lot.
He
but-
also plays a character named Looney Tunes in Hell Comes to Frogtown, which we're going to be doing.
Oh yeah, we
Which-
will. Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Fuck
yeah.
yeah.
Fighting people in giant frog suits, like a la Teenage Mutant Ninja
We
Turtles.
call that a Saturday at my house.
But sorry, yes, I had a little bit of a girl seizure over here because I was like, holy shit, that was him.
Also happy to see that right now.
I only caught a little bit of it because of my glasses.
I
went-
wasn't sure your husband's human until right now. Until then, I was like, he's an excitable robot.
He's an excited.
He's an
went to-
excited.
I went to his IMDb page. You know, at the top they have like a video that'll play.
Yeah.
The first clip that wanted to start playing was from Avenging Angel, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, he was the fucking fake Sam Elliott. I had to go through his credits and find it. So
Derek's human, guys.
yeah, I'm a human, and I love fake Sam Elliott along with real Sam Elliott.
I was just gonna say it's not exclusive to.
Well, you know,
fake
I had
Sam.
to really enjoy fake Sam Elliott because we just got done watching Justified.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
Sam Elliott's in that last season, and he's great, but he's mustacheless, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Fake Sam Elliott had the mustache, so I balanced them out
They
into
can't
one
have it
person.
at the same time, dude.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, that was the first time I ever saw Sam Elliott without a mustache. I was like, he's an
up.
alien.
He'll call him up. He's like, dude, I'm shaving. All right, I'll start growing right now.
There's a lot of room on that lip. Like, he needs a mustache.
He
It's a-
doesn't have a lip.
It's no. He's got a long
It's all-
snot slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actual juiciness of the lip.
No, not
It's
the,
quite
I guess
there.
the lip flesh part, but the upper lip.
It's
Yes.
very. You know what? God bless her, Jamie Lee Curtis. No upper lip. Oh, speaking of Jamie Lee fucking Curtis.
Yes.
Ooh,
Speaking
speaking
of
of
Jamie
Jamie
Lee
Lee Curtis,
One of the
You-
other stars
hey,
of this
hey,
movie.
You catch that segue?
I did.
Yeah, it was
Go
good.
on.
One of the other stars of this movie is Janet Leigh, most famous for Psycho, also being Jamie Lee Curtis's mom.
She's a hitch cuckold.
Yes.
She is.
And we also have DeForest Kelly of Star Trek fame, who played Bones.
If you
Dr.
people are like
McCoy.
me, he's Dr. McCoy.
Yeah. Oh, Bones. I know he's Dr. McCoy, but he's Bones.
Damn it, Jim!
I
I'm
hear
a
Bones-
physician, not a magician.
And I think of David Borealis.
Who?
Boreanaz.
Boreanaz.
Who?
He played Bones
not
on that
that
Bone
guy.
show, but he played Angel on Buffy.
Oh.
But
The
he
show
was Bones on her Bones show.
Who? I'm just kidding. I know.
Bonesman.
I know you're talking about with Deschanel
other guy.
of the
Yes.
Not Zoe.
Emily.
Yeah.
Not Emily. Yeah, Emily
Oh,
Deschanel.
Emily. It's a long night, folks. We're
It
sorry. we're gonna get there. You know what? We're not talking about this movie much, and that is
There's
a
not a
sign
Yes.
that there's not a lot going on, whether you enjoyed it or not. We'll get to that.
I mean, if you
I
want,
will
we
say-
can talk about how it started with Rory Calhoun shooting his horse
Yeah.
Yeah, and
because
you
he
know
stepped
what?
in a rabbit hole.
Well, how long was this movie?
88 minutes.
Was it a did it feel like 88 minutes?
A
Though?
little too long. Yep. I could've-
I mean, I could have trimmed this. I could have made
could've-
this 45.
Jack and I just did the Dungeon Master, which was only 77 minutes. Dungeon Master could have been 88 to explain anything. This could have been 77 to stop.
Yeah,
explaining.
yeah. Just get me out of here, please.
And then it also stars Stuart Whitman, who is in some westerns and stuff. But there's nothing for me to flip my arms about with him that I noticed.
Oh,
Yeah.
can I do a quick wrap up? Like
Yeah, go for it.
Like the overall thing.
You want to give it a little rundown?
I want to give it a little rundown.
Give the old girl
All
a
right.
try.
Rabbits are infesting southern Tucson ranch, and it's like out of control. So Doc McCoy gets a buddy from the East Coast or whatever, or East Side. He says his Eastern friends, and they give him a serum to inject with one of the bunnies. A little girl falls in love with the bunny and then switches the cages, and the one that got injected got released into the wild, mated like bunnies do, and now we have 500 ginormous bunnies taking over a town.
She's not wrong, and she's
Yeah.
leaving like
that was
nothing
a lot of
out.
detail, though. You just did the whole podcast.
I just did the whole podcast.
So-
for
All right,
you.
sign off. I'm
Good
going
night.
home.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I give it 2 lucky rabbit's foots down. No,
Hey,
no,
I didn't give the end.
no, you're not wrong though. I mean, that's what's happening. It's just more detail than they paid attention to.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
basically you can't poison the rabbits because, like we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
it'll do all the other shit. So they try hormones, and that doesn't work. So he tries
Yeah, they
mysterious.
did a sex
so he
change
tries
on
them-
2 different rabbits.
Yeah, they're trying to make the
Yep.
boys feel like girls and the girls feel like boys. I guess so they won't fuck as much. And then they also just use a magical mystery serum
Hey.
from Professor X.
Hey,
Like,
pal, let me tell you something. If you're gonna make all the guys feel like girls and the girls feel like guys,
You're
they
still getting
They're
sex.
still fucking.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't really understand.
It's
that.
just now I'm not gonna be on top.
I guess because the women will be fucking the dudes' asses. It'll be just a bunch of rabbits pegging each other.
Well, they're still fucking, but they can't get pregnant if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They learned how to
exactly.
do it missionary.
You can't get pregnant.
You can't, dude. Trust me, bro. You can't get pregnant.
You speak from experience?
Yes. No. Ew, butt stuff? Ew.
That's my husband.
Yeah, stay away from my butt. Or any
No,
butt.
just stay away from butts.
yeah, any butt in general.
Because I don't feel like I should be able to play with your butt unless I let you play with my butt. We ain't doing that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
It's all about butt fairness.
I do. Yeah, all's fair in butts
Equal
and more.
rights.
But yeah, so they try a magic potion from this fucking Professor Xavier dude that's running around this
He's
hospital.
a little closer to Dr. Monroe, Dr. Moreau and
Yeah.
his island.
Yeah, that's fair. He's a little bit more.
He's gonna fuck them animals. What I'm saying. God,
But-
have you ever tried to watch that movie?
Yeah.
The original one or the one with
The Marlon Brando one.
Marlon Brando.
okay,
I watched
yeah.
it with my
That
parents.
is so trash. It's not even enjoyable. Like we watch trash on this podcast. That's not a fun one. That's a bad one.
Yeah, it's Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Val Kilmer was supposed to be another guy. The guy that's in Harry Potter, redhead dude. He's in Dr. Moreau as well.
Weasley?
No, no,
That was a
no.
little kid.
I'm blanking
No,
on
his
his
dad.
name, and I'll get there. But
Okay.
Oh, the wolf, the werewolf.
yeah,
Okay.
Professor Lupin.
Yes.
They changed roles like while filming.
Okay.
Oh.
The director got changed out and burnt everything besides the film, like storyboard wise. He burnt everything he was working on. Like, good luck, assholes. Like, it's just, and when you watch that movie, you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
But that movie has one redeeming part because Val Kilmer tried to go meet Marlon Brando, and Marlon Brando's like, no, I want nothing to do with you because I was the young hotness, and now you're the young hotness. So the only good part of that movie is when Val Kilmer is doing his impersonation of Marlon Brando. And it is so fucking funny because he is ripping on him, and it's worth watching that
to his face.
5 minutes. No, he's dead at this point.
Okay.
Spoilers for
The
Island
day
of
of my
Dr.
daughter's
Moreau.
wedding. I can't do it either. I gotta get some cotton.
It's
So did he.
my caloric converter. Like he's doing something in that movie. I digress.
But yeah, so the stupid little kid switches two of the rabbits, which
Fucking
I thought was going to be
Shepard.
the cause of the problem. But then in the next scene, she has one of the rabbits in her hand.
That's the one that she switched out.
oh, because they let her
'Cause she's
hold
like,
it 'cause
"Can
they
I-"
thought it was a normal
No,
rabbit.
she's
Yeah.
like, "Can I take one home before you kill them?"
But they let her take it
And
'cause
they're-
they thought it was a
yes.
normal rabbit.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is her fault, but it's also this kid's fault. What's
what
the
the
guy?
fuck was he doing,
Calhoun's
Jackie?
son?
yeah, the little boy,
Jack.
the little asshole.
Oh, don't blame it on Jack. Okay.
Jackie. They called him Jackie. How's that? Is that better?
Barely.
Well, little Jackie is trying to get this little girl to go hang out with fucking what the fuck do
Billy?
they call this guy?
Captain Billy.
Captain Billy.
Dude,
I was
okay.
like, that sounds like someone's getting molested.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, we're all very cynical here. When he's like, "Hey, let's
Mind
take
you,
a
the
horse
girl
ride."
is 10.
Yeah, and he's 12 or tall.
Yeah. 12 or tall.
He's anywhere from 12 to tall. But like, let's go to Captain Billy's mine shaft is an instant red flag for molestation.
All of us.
Yes. Yeah.
All of us thought, and then he's like, "Wait, where is Captain Billy?" And I said out loud, "Captain Billy's real." hold on.
Wait,
We were
where's
all
Captain Billy?
expecting to
Hold on,
hear a
come in here
zipper.
with me. I can't find Captain. You know what? Check my pants.
It gets
Like,
even creepier though, as Derek pointed out while we were watching. He's like, "You don't know this guy, so you go down the mine shaft and look for him. I'll stay up here."
Yeah. So he sends a 10-year-old blonde girl to a mine shaft alone. I mean, she looks like an adult in her face. She looks like
That's
she's 35.
just because she has Hollywood face.
Yeah.
But
She's
like-
seen some fucking shit.
well,
She's
her
on
IMDb
cocaine.
photo is her switching rabbits from this movie. So I'm going to assume she's not been in a lot of stuff, and she probably looks like that because she's a cowboy girl.
Yeah.
Cowgirl
Oh,
boy?
she's sour
She's
Rita
a
Rita.
Cowgirl?
She's Sour Rita.
In 2024, we call them cow people. So
Mm.
so move on.
But so yeah, so she goes into the mine shaft looking
Working
for
at
Captain
the
Billy.
mine shaft.
Oh, apparently this is days after.
Yeah, it's been
The
a few
rabbit-
days.
rabbit
They're
went
like
away.
burning the land because the hormone thing didn't work.
Yep.
Which I'm going to
and
tell you now.
Rory Calhoun here is giving up his land. Like he's burning his land to try to make it basically so these rabbits have nothing to eat and they stop spreading.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? We watch them like just spray with accelerant. We live in this desert. We know.
Yeah.
You don't need
It's
help.
December. You don't need accelerant.
You don't need help catching fire to this plane. Give it fucking July. It doesn't matter. Unless you just had a monsoon, that bitch is catching.
Stuart Whitman in this scene
Stuart Whitman?
caught Jack's attention. because he's walking around looking like Professor
yeah.
Ian Malcolm, shirtless with a fucking leather jacket over it.
It wasn't like a leather jacket. It was a button up. It looked like one of those button up cowboy shirts.
No,
but just leather.
But they zoom in on it. Now we get
yeah.
a tight shot, and it's like, yeah, you are fucking Jeff Goldbluming through this movie.
Yes, you are.
Well, there it is. Rabbits find a way.
Fuck, man.
You turn the male rabbit's female and the female rabbit's male. Yeah, they won't be fucking now. You don't see a problem with that. You don't see a flaw in your logic.
You made
Nature
all the
finds
rabbits
a way.
female.
You still have males and females. Yeah, but they weren't that, and now they are. This is terrible
See,
play.
Nature
the
finds a
female
way.
ones won't know what to do with their dicks. What?
Yeah, you would. Every woman listening,
It's
you
not that
know,
hard. It's like a gun. Point and shoot.
Oh, that's my problem. Every female listening, I think you would all do the same thing with the penis for the first day.
Would you like to know what it would be?
The helicopter.
Well, 100%.
Yeah.
Peeing outside.
Oh, okay. That's on the list, right?
Writing
Give
on
it
the
to me.
wall.
Right. Peeing on the wall. Peeing
Yes.
outside. Dick helicopter.
Dick helicopter. Masturbating. Definitely want to know what the fuck that feels like.
I'm going to tell you
You
one.
know
that-
what it feels like just from the other side.
Well, I know,
but I'm
I
gonna
want to
tell
know
you
what it
one
feels
you're
like
missing
for a
out on.
guy.
Getting a boner and putting hats on it.
That's on my list.
Yeah. It
Well,
is
you
now.
can do that with the dick helicopter.
I call it the human head rack.
You put the hat on it and then you spin
Hanging
the
a
hat.
towel on it.
Hanging a towel, offering people things with
Yeah.
your penis, and then lifting your hands up, being like, "Ta-da!"
Putting it in a box and taking it backstage to the Country Music Awards.
All right, that's all on the list now. If
Sadly,
you have
it's all
something-
already been on my
If you have
list.
something that we missed that you'd like to do with a penis and you're a female, please email it us.
Yes. badmoviesworstpeople@gmail.com.
What
Make
would
the
you do with the
subject line,
penis?
what I would do with my penis.
Please
Because
do.
I'll read that immediately when I get the text, when I get the notification, and I will laugh very hard.
Yes, absolutely. Pun intended. Always intend your puns.
Give
I
us
laugh
some male
hard at
peoples.
dick jokes.
I get hard at dick jokes. Wait, that's true.
I was going to say something very
Anyway,
mean.
back to this movie, Lake Flaccid.
So they
oh wait, no, we're not. We didn't watch
What movie
that.
are we doing again?
So they find
Night of the
little
Leaper.
girl finds the night of the Lepus creatures. No, she finds Billy being eaten, or right after
Already
being
eaten,
eaten.
yeah.
Captain Billy has been eaten.
Oh,
You
they
see-
took my farm. They took my body. I got nothing left. Captain Billy and his pig shit farm. We got run out by them rabbits. I'll tell you what, man. It's tough work out here. They poop for 10 men.
I was trying to switch to Rabbit Shit Farm.
Me and my brother, we tried to give in to the pig. We pooped where the pigs poop to try and make up numbers. Didn't work out. You could tell rabbit shit between pig shit. I'll tell you what.
Yes, you can.
Sloppy.
They're like bowling balls coming at you.
Giant giant rabbit shit is terrifying.
That's Indiana Jones, right? Like,
Yes. Well, no, because they're not that much bigger than the people. So I'm saying
Not
a
yet.
bowling ball is.
if they spoiler
The
alert, if
red-
they didn't kill all these rabbits, they would have kept growing, and they would have had Indiana Jones boulder shits.
the
Oh
ergonomic.
yeah, it would have been Armageddon. There's a rabbit turd headed for us, and if we don't get a team on there to drill 800 feet and put a nuke in it, we're gonna all die. Mm-hmm.
You know the
Rabbit-geddon.
you know the ball chair
Rabbit-geddon.
thing.
What? Sorry.
You know the yoga ball thing that people use a chair or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That would be the size of that rabbit's poop.
But solid,
Solid, yes.
not even.
But
inflated.
it wouldn't be dense. They're really like because
I mean,
it wouldn't
these
be
rabbits
dense.
are
fiber.
eating flesh.
These rabbits are eating people.
they're not eating them. They're killing them to get.
That's
to
right. They are
produce.
just killing them and tearing them into pieces. Because this next guy, the guy in the refrigerated truck,
You know what? That's correct. They
Yeah.
don't eat anybody.
They're not eating anybody. They're,
They're
just
just
murdering
senseless
them.
fucking murders, dude.
because this guy in this refrigerated truck pulls over for some reason. I don't know, and he gets out and he's
he
looking
had to
around.
check his stock?
He had
Question
to
mark.
check to make sure the refrigerator was working. I don't know.
He had to make sure it wasn't running.
He was driving along exactly, and he got a call on his early cell phone. It was like, "Is your refrigerator running?" And he's like, "Well, I
fuck.
hope so."
I gotta get out there and check.
It was a CB call.
Candy cane, come in, Candy cane. I got a joke for you. Is your refrigerator running?
She's not amused.
Better get out and catch it.
But
He
he gets
about
out
the
to
movie
check.
Joyride.
I know.
He gets out to check, and the rabbits attack him. And when they find him the next morning, it's this guy's head and like part of his torso sticking out of sand,
Uh-huh.
and then just dummy parts spread all around. But they kept him. These rabbits shredded him apart, but kept him in people shape.
This
Yeah.
was the most excited your husband got for this movie, by the way. Like,
Well,
the first time.
Yeah,
the
I was
first
like
time.
until they had a guy in a rabbit suit pawing people.
Sorry. This wasn't the most excited because you had just kind of been a little bit bored until right here. You're
Yeah.
like, yes, gore and fucking dummies. I love both
I
of
know
those
I'm not
things.
expecting
This
like,
dummy didn't look anything like the actual character.
Oh, fuck
actor.
no.
Well, I know I'm not expecting like 80s horror movie level gore. I'm expecting people to be eaten by giant rabbits, though.
But they're
And
not
I
being
expect to
eaten, they're
see a
just
rabbit,
being murdered.
which I didn't get, a rabbit running with like a little fake person in its mouth. That's what I was looking for.
We were
Yeah,
hoping.
I would have liked that.
But this guy is basically Quint from Jaws. I think you pointed that
Yes.
out.
You bet your sweet
He looks
ass,
just
dude.
like him. He gets out and he's like, their eyes were black, like doll's eyes.
Yeah, he looks like that. I'm waiting for fucking Dreyfus to come out and be like, I've had a rabbit attack worse than that one.
And then the dead guy looked like Wilford Brimley.
On Wilford Brimley's worst day.
I mean, if Quint let himself go, he could be like Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, if he lived long enough.
He probably didn't.
No,
I mean,
character-wise.
the character Quint
Character-wise, he did.
He didn't make it past the end of Jaws. One. Did he come back as a ghost in any of those?
Jaws?
I don't know. I've never seen past the first one. I assume there's ghosts at some point.
What?
No.
Is this a serious conversation about
Yeah.
two things? One, you haven't seen past number one.
Nah, I never bothered.
Two, you think there's ghosts in Jaws?
I swear there's ghosts in Jaws 4. The Revenge? It's a ghost Jaws coming back.
No, it's the okay. So the sharks are so inherently evil they're bred to hate the fucking Brody family.
Oh. I like ghost Jaws.
You know what? I don't think I've seen them before, so I can't really speak on it too much. I've seen Jaws. I've seen Jaws 2. I've seen Jaws 3D.
Well, Jaws 4 is the one with Michael Caine.
Oh, I have seen. He's got fucking Mario Van Peebles.
Okay, I know it has Michael Caine.
Pretty sure it's got Mario Van Peebles.
Is it an episode?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Don't touch that dial.
So we should probably get Steve on that one.
I feel like Steve's got to have already done that.
Yeah, but he hasn't done it with us. Imagine the
I know in
puns I'll make.
January he was doing like a sequel recap kind of thing. So he probably did it back then because this is February.
But he doesn't have my puns with him.
That's
Right?
fair.
And my axe.
In my bat suit.
So
So anyway, they chopped up this body like
They
rabbits
sure
do.
did.
And then there's a black scientist, which I did not expect to see in a 1972 movie.
Dude, I had to shout it out. Like, this is Arizona being progressive for once.
good on
Hey,
you,
we
mates.
tried for a minute.
It didn't take.
Didn't stick. He played by a guy named William Elliott, who I don't really know from anything. He was in Coffee, which is a big blaxploitation movie, but not really.
Do you think they're
anything I
getting
know.
local actors here, by the way? Like,
Oh, a
is
lot
that-
of these
think
extras
so.
are probably locals.
Well, they
but,
have
but,
to be.
but actors. Not extras, people speaking lines along this guy.
Part of the reason Janet Leigh did this movie is because it was close to her house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they lived somewhere in the Southwest.
Probably.
I
Might
saw
be
that
disgusting.
bit in the trivia. She said it was because it was close to home, so she wouldn't have to be away from her family, and that she had pretty much tried her hardest to wipe the entire thing out of her memory.
Oh, man.
70. What
Good on
family
you.
does she need to be close to?
She had Jamie Lee Curtis and her,
Okay,
and
when
her
did
other daughter.
when
her
did
son, Tony
Halloween come
Curtis.
out?
77?
Okay, Jamie Lee Curtis was already 20 something when that came out.
I have no idea. I don't know the numbers there, but I do know another piece of trivia I saw said that she said no to both of her daughters having cameos in this movie
What's
because
that?
she didn't want them to be anywhere near a horror movie. Worked out well for her.
It's not going to go. You might as well have her in here now. She's going to be a scream queen.
She is going to be the horror movie lady. Like,
Yes, she is.
Halloween is like the kind of the prototypical slasher. I mean, there
It's-
were some things before that, but
But
that's
it's on the
big
Mount
one.
Rushmore of slashers.
Yeah.
She was
Like,
also
they-
in the show Scream Queens.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
I'm pretty sure Scream Queen was probably coined because of her.
So Jamie Lee Curtis might have even been this young blonde girl.
Yeah, I
That-
think that
Could
might
have
have been
been.
what she was trying to get her to play.
Stop me if we already brought it up. The amount of ADR in this.
so much ADR.
I mean, there are so many times that it cuts away and like the inspector, the chief police, or whoever it is who's had a very normal voice is all of a
Put
sudden
up
like,
a fence.
we gotta evacuate the town. Like, who spoke? Who is
No,
saying this?
Literally, later on in the movie, there's the guy talking on the megaphone, and it's like, just remember, folks, you have to get out. And he takes down. He's like, boy, I sure hope they listen.
Every one of it feels like it's Pee Wee Herman being a rabbit. I say we let him go.
Jamie Lee Curtis was 14 when this movie came out, by the way.
So yeah, she would have been an older child.
So she was like 17 when Halloween came out.
This 72 and 77.
19. I can't do math. I've been drinking all day.
Dude, I was drinking all night.
Just listen to your wife, bro.
That's just good advice.
But there was a black scientist, which is 1972. It's interesting. I don't know.
Super
I was
stoked.
surprised. But basically, he's telling them that all this shit they're finding
Was
was chewed up, not broken, not like smashed, and it's covered in saliva. And the one cop is like, the sheriff or whatever is like, you telling me we got vampires here? He's like, well,
Maybe.
the closest thing I could think of would be, I don't know, a lot of saber-toothed tigers.
So both things he says are so wild and cavalier. He's like, well, vampires, maybe. Not going to lie. That's probable. Or a bunch of saber-toothed tigers. Don't be so fucking calm and cavalier about that.
Yeah.
What do we have that's close to a saber-toothed tiger? Mountain lions?
My cat.
Yeah.
That dog.
This yeah, no, mountain lion would be the closest we have. And, I mean, we kind of hunted them pretty much to just, they're okay. But
Yeah.
they ain't
There's
flourishing.
just enough of them to eat your cats and dogs now.
Don't be out there. We've taken over all of their territory.
God,
you have to leave them something.
Coyotes don't give a fuck about people anymore.
Good.
Like, I remember, because I grew up here. We all did. Do
No,
remember-
you started in the nipple of Iowa in the summers.
No. But still, I
I
remember
summered in the nipple.
I lived at 5th and Harrison,
In the Niptons.
where it was just all desert past Harrison. And a coyote would be in our neighborhood and it would see our headlights and book it. Today, a coyote struts in the street and then if he sees you, he stops and stares you down.
Because they have to adapt to survive. We left them nothing.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's some ridiculous number. Like since the 70s, 60% of all wildlife is gone because of us. Anyway, we're moving on. Let's get the rabbits
Oh,
big.
sorry.
Let's get the
Saber-tooth
rabbits
tigers.
big.
Saber-tooth
So
tigers.
then we have DeForest Kelly and I think Rory Calhoun just checking holes with a flashlight and like a microphone. And they hear like the kind of the noise that Whitney was making at the beginning of this podcast. Like a squeaky, chittery, like
Really
it's-
loud rabbit noises.
I guess it's kind of rabbits. Or,
Yeah.
but I feel
Oh, but
like
think
it's
of a
dude.
guinea pig.
I feel like it's a dude in a booth doing a rabbit voice.
You know what there is? You know what there is in the booth? Someone just doing nose breathing.
Oh, when the rabbits start rampaging here
It's-
shortly, it's just a guy breathing.
It's
yeah.
a part of the music, I think, but it is just a really close nostril breathing to the microphone.
But so
It's
they,
like Wilhelm's breathe.
so they take dynamite down into the holes because they're like, well, we hear squeaky noises. Time to dynamite these holes.
Oh yeah. But we didn't talk about it, and it doesn't matter. But the main scientist guy has been working with bats
Yes.
with
Oh, yeah.
noises, and it
Which
doesn't
literally
matter a
came to
fucking
nothing.
thing. Yeah, like he shakes a box full of bats to like record their sounds.
Bag
Like
of
"Shh,
bat
don't-
sandwiches.
Yeah, dude, it's not going well. I don't trust you as a scientist anymore.
Remind me to tell you about the worst pun from Batman and Robin. Now that you mentioned bats,
There isn't a bad one, so
There
it's
is.
a trick statement.
it's not a pun, I guess. When Chris O'Donnell at the end does a holy something Batman, whatever it was, they're climbing on a thing, and he's like, "Holy whatever, Batman," and George Clooney looks at him and he goes, "Well, because there's holes in it. It's all rusty."
No, that's Val Kilmer. That is Batman Forever. Holy rusted metal, Batman. And he's
Are
like,
you
what?
sure?
Yeah, almost positive.
I watched them back to back.
I know. I think I would put money down on this.
because I thought it was when.
Holy
oh,
rusted
you're right,
metal,
because
Batman.
It's the Riddler's.
What? And he's like, no, the metal, it's all rusted and full of holes. Oh, that's the worst pun?
It's the worst. I hate it.
Best one.
I hate it. Anyway,
We're
there's
fighting.
there's no bat people in this. Only bats. So they do find the giant rabbits. And they start taking pictures of them right before they decide to fucking dynamite the shit out of them. Anyway,
Sure.
they're like baring their teeth, and it is supposed to be menacing.
It is adorable.
It's just a low angle close up shot of a rabbit smiling is what it is.
It is a cute fucking little. You can't make this menacing.
It's like the South Park episode where they're talking about the different. They do the kids are doing the news station, and then I think it's Craig does the close up animals with a wide angle lens, and it beats out the news because that's what this is. It's just close up.
I thought
animals.
you said the giant gerbils.
No, not that one. It's just footage.
I'm so
of
startled
animals
right now.
Close up.
I'm so startled.
The startling. But that's exactly what this is. It's just close-up animals, and they're just smiling at the camera. And whenever they're doing their roars throughout this, I was reading, it's literally just the rabbits yawning.
Yeah.
And then they just 80 yard. I mean, obviously the rabbits aren't roaring, but it's like they got footage of the rabbits yawning, and they were like,
Whitney's the
"That's
only
like a roar."
person here that have ever had rabbits.
Yeah.
But I think anybody else that's, not me and Derek would know, like, yeah, that's how they yawn, you idiots.
Yeah, I mean, rabbits don't roar, but this is the first time we hear a rabbit roar in this movie, and all I could think of was Steve.
With a rabbit yell, I want more.
I just thought of Steve, though, about how sharks always roar. He's like, sharks don't roar.
Yeah.
We don't know that. You can't
I like
hear
the meme
underwater.
that says, like, somebody made up dinosaur sounds one day without ever hearing them. And that's just fun to think about.
Yeah.
There's some scientists like, all right, look, it probably sounds like this. Oh, come on, Steve.
Because there's been some things where they found like fossilized like vocal parts, right? And like people just blow through it and it makes like weird like chicka 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 noises and shit.
I heard, dude, I watched
Was that
this.
Jurassic Park 3 maybe?
I heard this whole thing about them recreating a mummy's vocals, like an actual like mummy. And I watched this entire video and like, we're going to hear his last words. And it goes, ah! It's the stupidest thing ever. Like, we're going to hear what this mummy sounded like. Ah!
Like I watched this video for 2.5 hours.
It gave me some pleasure to laugh that hard at it though. So joke's on them.
As you folks know, we like to have a beer or three while we podcast, and sometimes that leads to a not so pleasant morning after, unless we remember to hydrate, people. That's where Liquid IV comes in. Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, and it's now available in sugar-free with a proprietary zero sugar solution that has no artificial sweeteners. I love using Liquid IV because it comes in convenient little packets you can take with you, makes me feel rejuvenated and hydrated, and best of all, it actually tastes good. Just one packet of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than just water alone, thanks to the 8 vitamins and nutrients it has, and it has 3 times the electrolytes of those other sports drinks. We love Liquid IV so much that we're offering you, our loyal listeners, a steal of a deal. Get 20% off when you grab your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier, sugar-free, or any other variant at liquidiv.com and use the code WORSTPEOPLE at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code WORSTPEOPLE at liquidiv.com.
Sharks of the Corn? Virus shark? Cocaine shark? Sharktopus? Yeah, those are all real movies. Join me, Steve Coates, as each week I take a comedic look at the bizarre world of sharksploitation cinema on Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast.
So this is one of my favorite parts. We get a guy getting attacked by a guy in a giant bunny
Finally.
suit. A guy wearing like an almost full bunny suit. Like I don't think they had the head. I don't think you ever see the head, but you just have paws and you see the stomach and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like a guy in a bunny suit just pawing the shit out of other fully
Oh
grown
my god,
men.
that shit was
Yeah.
hilarious. I just like splashing red paint on him.
If you
Yeah.
could just get Peter Mayhew, he would
I'm sorry,
tear
who?
this roll up. Peter Mayhew.
Bless you.
He played Chewbacca in the original trilogy and since. But
And
yeah.
all of them.
Okay.
He is Chewbacca.
Yeah, he is.
Don't disrespect Chewbacca.
I don't know how to.
No, well,
No,
when
you
we,
did
when
better
we
than
get
I
to
did.
you did better than I could. When we get to 4, 5, and 6, I got some things to say about that beautiful human being.
Okay.
But not this episode.
But
I can
so
be
they-
annoyed at Star Wars right now.
Yeah, you can. This is your time.
This is no bad Jack.
Yeah, peek behind the curtain, guys. We recorded an episode for Han Took Shots First, our Star Wars podcast, and Whitney still was on it.
We did not hold her hostage.
They're lying. I was tied to the chair.
If you get a letter with a bunch of cutout articles that says to help her, it's a funny, funny joke.
It says, help a Misa?
Help a Misa. He's so racist.
But anyway, so they blow up this cave and it collapses in on these rabbits.
And they're all dead, and the movie's over.
Yeah, except for they all emerge en masse from this fucking cave and they start wreaking havoc on the countryside.
And then all of a sudden, a bunch of British knights yell, "Run away! Run away!
Run away!"
There are some who call me Tim.
You know that one, right?
Monty
Monty Python and the
Python.
Holy Grail.
Probably too
Oh, it's
long.
been
If you
so
don't
long.
get that reference, and I'm not trying to be a dick, if you don't get that reference, I feel like it's been too long for you.
It has.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's.
I've
just
not
worth-
watched it since I've been with him.
Oh, that's too long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have. Where
Yeah.
were you?
sleeping.
Probably making money at a job.
Nah, probably sleeping.
Probably sleeping. If you can
Bitches-
make
That's
money.
right. I'm a
sleeping.
female.
Bitches be sleeping.
Bitches be sleeping, dude. I think it's bitches be shopping. No, they be sleeping. They be
I
sleeping.
just tried to take a drink out of a closed water
You're
bottle.
an idiot.
Fucking
Look at you.
nerd.
You wouldn't survive a minute with a giant rabbit.
Fucking.
You'd be the first one to go, dude. Hydrate before we run from these rabbits. Oh shit, my lid's closed. Oh, Derek's done. Leave him, dude.
He's the crunchiest. They'll like him. He's like a carrot.
You know what though? They wouldn't like you. They would just slice you up and leave you to die. These fucking rabbits kill for nothing, man. If you're gonna kill it, you better grill it. That's a rabbit saying.
So the rabbits are stampeding across the countryside. The horses.
Oh man, it's rabbits stampeding across the fucking countryside.
It gets worse because the horses are trying to run from the rabbits, and the people are trying to keep the horses in their like kennels. These horses are like, eat a fucking dick.
Hold on. You don't put horses in kennels. You're gonna get someone to type about that. It's a corral.
You know
A
what?
pen,
Heather can
a
write me an angry
stable,
email,
but
okay?
never a kennel. The size of that kennel for a fucking horse, dude.
Look,
Yeah, that's what you
a
pull
thing,
with your truck.
It's a thing you keep animals.
It's a trailer.
In. Like you corral your dogs, you kennel your horses. Just get over it.
All right, don't forget to pluck the pigs before we go in. Milk the donkey.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
Jesus.
Fuck me, Jesus.
Oh, that's our code word. Excuse us,
Wait,
Jack. We'll
should
be
I
right
leave?
back.
Yeah, should I leave?
No, watch.
Are you the Jesus? Oh, she's making direct eye contact. Oh my God, you guys start with that?
So the rabbits eat the horses.
No, they don't eat them. Just kill them.
I don't know, man. It looked like they were eating these horses.
I think
No,
they want
they
us
were-
to. I think they would like it to be eating, but they didn't have the budget for chewed flesh.
Yeah.
So what we get is just a dummy covered in red or
Although
whatever.
there is
it
one
be.
rabbit they show over and over who has like blood on his
Rabies.
face.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it looks like he's
Oh
got,
no,
like,
there
part
is
of his-
rabies. There's a semen shot.
But there's one that looks like he's got part of his jaw like torn off, like a zombie movie.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be probably the way the blood matted on the fur.
Yeah.
But they used that same rabbit like 4 or 5 times. So every time I see it, I'm like, that's a zombie rabbit.
So I think they're implying they're eating meat,
Yeah.
but we don't see it. So
No. But so they kill all the horses. They stampede across this town. Well, they're not really in the
No,
town
the horses
yet. They're on
get
the
out.
outskirts. Well, the horses get out, but the rabbits eat some of them.
Some
Yeah,
of them,
some
not
of
all
them,
of
yeah.
them.
Some of them.
yeah, mostly.
Because remember, they show them they're standing on the ledge and they're hopping down onto the horses.
We definitely get puppet horse being like dead puppet horse. Getting
Yeah, and there's a
Puppet.
couple of stunt horses in
Yeah.
this who fall over, like the one at the beginning and in this scene though. But
I
then,
think I've said
I
it
think it's the same
before.
horse.
I might have said this before. I might not have. Briscoe County Jr. That's the one with Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell, yeah.
I watched a behind the scenes where he had a stunt horse named Star that legitimately liked falling down. Like they would give it a command, that horse would fucking fall. So I am hoping that this is one of those where it's like he's just a good boy.
Well, I mean, I would imagine. I mean, because this guy directed a lot of westerns, so
Yeah.
he knows the people doing western stuff, and they're doing TV shows. They're not going through horses. They can't afford to be replacing horses.
I mean,
all
that's
the
you know
time.
what, that's a
So-
reality. Like Milo noticed that we talked about in China, there's throwing
Yeah.
cats over. You don't do that with horses, man. That's expensive.
Yeah, unless it's that show Lucky that Dustin Hoffman did. I think like 15 horses died or something.
Oh, I don't know that, dude.
I won't watch it.
I don't want to.
I wanted to watch it, and I found that out, and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, and I like Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah. But anyway,
Little big man.
the horses, good God, they're the size of horses. The rabbits are stampeding over Rory Calhoun's like ranch, and he puts his family down in this like storm shelter. And by the way, his wife is indigenous person, it looks like, which is another interesting thing for a 1972 movie.
It's definitely worth mentioning, I think.
Yeah.
In 72.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
something
it's
I expect to
Tucson,
see
but-
in a Hollywood movie though. Still, like,
Yeah.
Absolutely. This rancher could easily have like a Dolly Parton-esque wife.
Yeah.
Just, the big bouffant and like, hey, I live this life. But no, they chose a pretty well-represented indigenous person,
yeah,
I feel.
Yeah, I definitely agree
Like,
with that.
correct me if I'm wrong, but look the part.
he puts them down in like this storm shelter, and the rabbits are like trying to get down through the door, and they're just blasting these rabbits through the storm shelter door, and there's just blood running down the holes. And on the top, you see rabbits like flying in the air, but they're clearly puppets.
Yeah.
Like you'll see like just a burst of like red paint, and then like a puppet fly through the air.
It's some of the best of this movie for me.
Yeah, the puppets flying. The rabbit puppets are the funniest thing in
They
this
are.
whole movie.
They are pretty fantastic.
They do invade the house, and then they,
You get a miniature of the kitchen.
in the miniature designs on this are cool. I mean, there's dishes in the cabinets. There's
So you had
everything
said to
here.
me, this is what you were looking forward to.
Yes.
A miniature.
Any of these movies, I'm looking for the regular size animal on a miniature set.
And I love it.
There's definitely a scene coming up where Derek had pointed out, he's like, that's a fucking miniature.
Yeah, it's
And-
the next scene
and-
here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, wait for it.
because the rabbits are swarming through the towns. They get shot through the floor and stuff, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But they're storming through the town at this general store.
And so the general store, we see it, and
The
it's
mercantile general.
the
store.
mercantile. That's where they sell merkins
Yes,
and tile.
Merkins and tile.
Either way, no matter what your bottom downstairs looks like, we'll cover it.
carpet or tile.
But so it shows an outward view, and Derek's like, "Yeah, that's a fucking miniature," and you're thinking like it was. You can tell it
'Cause
was.
It's an intersection right
But
outside
why?
this thing.
Why is that? Like, and you wonder why. For a half a second, you're like, oh, there's gonna be rabbits just ripping down that street,
Yep.
isn't there? And sure as shit, this lady, the general store worker, hears a noise, looks back, and a stampede's a coming.
They have so many rabbits in these stampedes. It is fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah,
Like it's hundreds. I mean, they say later on in the movie when they're moving across from this little, like whatever town, this little crossroads town that they're in, which only consists of some businesses and houses, which they say in this movie.
Well, he says like
which I'm
two-
like, isn't that what towns are?
that's what a town is.
But when they're moving from that town to the next town, they say it's 2 miles wide. This stampede of rabbits.
That's a lot of
terrifying.
miles. Yeah. And are we getting to the part with the drive-in? I almost said drive-through movies. Ooh, that was a good 5 minutes. Keep going.
Almost like pretty much. I mean, Janet Leigh is trying to leave town. She has her daughter, and they get
that's
stuck
right.
in this wash because.
And by the way, hold on, we got to talk about this truck and camper. Anybody who is camping in the 80s and 90s
Oh,
or
I-
70s apparently
I did that in the
knows this fucking beautiful camper shell on top of like a Chevy, just maybe an S10, maybe a little bit bigger. Just a beautiful camper that you wish you had a good stepdad to take you.
my ex and I had that camper almost exactly, and went camping
Lucky.
at Catalina.
Yeah, I'd go to Patagonia.
We had 3 kids.
Tomato.
they're getting.
I'd have found 3
They're
kids.
trying to go through this thing though, and she gets stuck in the wash, and just guns it. Which anybody who's ever driven a car knows if you're stuck in something,
Especially in a
don't
wash.
fucking gun it.
Yeah.
Because you just watch these tires just dig into the dirt. So now she's trapped for when the rabbits show up later.
It's a Simpsons episode. Nah, dig up, stupid.
If you put it in reverse, you go back up.
I'd like to get out of here.
Rory Calhoun does show up and find. Oh, at some point here, there's a random family, like a family on a road trip.
Oh, yeah.
That's
This is-
driving through, and they pull up to get gas at the general store, and they just see a broken window, and he's like, "Well, this is what you call a ghost town," and he just drives off. And then immediately after, Rory Calhoun shows up, and this fucking general store is full of blood-covered rabbits and a
This
dead
is
body.
a Griswold, like proto Griswolds.
Yeah.
Roll them up.
Exactly.
A bunch of murderous rabbits. Roll them up, kids.
This is a scene that was cut from Vacation,
Yeah.
Southwest Vacation.
This is the greatest family ever, though. Like, you have no idea how close you came to travesty.
Yeah.
And just, like, fucking murderous rabbits.
Because in any other movie, any other horror movie like this, it would have been like, Well, it doesn't look like anyone's here. All
Send
the windows are smashed and everything.
Send the kids inside
yeah,
and see if
go
somebody's
in
there.
and just ask them to turn on the gas pump for me.
I'm gonna go in the bathroom
Kids are
and see
eating.
if there's anybody in there, and see what comes out.
Yeah, the family is consumed.
Yep.
But no, they just drove away, which, I mean, defeats their purpose of being here, but it was kind of funny. I guess it creates tension for the viewer at the time.
Yeah.
If you say so.
I don't feel like, so in 1972, we had drive-in theater, grindhouse movie type stuff, grimy,
I can
fucked
only
up.
tell time. It's 5 years before Star Wars. I can't tell time any other way.
But we had like grimy, fucked up stuff in theaters, in drive-in type of theaters at
Yeah.
the time. This is not made for those grimy crowds. This is made for adult, like parents who are now going to the drive-in theaters. Because this is like almost a horror movie, but it's like a family-friendly horror movie.
Very much so.
So-
I mean, you could even pick, not that you have this kind of daughter, but you can pick and choose moments to cover her eyes because of the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's there's no boobs, there's no graphic kills. It's just a lot of red dye.
Yeah.
And if you did have a much younger daughter, you could choose to be like, okay, give me
The bleeps. Would the bleeps cover her eyes?
the bleeps would either cover her eyes or not show this to her. But there are parts of this movie that little bleep would like, because guess what? It's got animals and she loves animals.
Yeah.
I think she would laugh anytime it had a rabbit roar. I think little bleep would just fucking
think-
chuckle.
Is little bleep still single digits?
Yes.
Maybe when she gets double digits.
I'll pitch it to him, and we can talk about it at the end of this
She,
for recommendations.
she might get upset on the next scene though when they're
Yeah.
talking about launching rockets at this wall of rabbits.
Oh, she would get upset. She would have a problem with this.
This military police guy who's supposed to be National Guard, 'cause they said call the National Guard.
He's wearing an MP.
He literally says, "We'll bomb them with rockets. We've
right,
got
Major."
fighter pilots waiting on the runway in Tucson because we have an Air Force base.
We
right?
have that here.
I'm like, so you're just gonna
That's
bomb
just our base.
rabbits? That's just
It's just our base.
So the sun sets and the rabbits come back out because apparently rabbits are nocturnal? ?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
both, but
This is the winter. I imagine they'd be out in the daytime because this movie is taking place sometime in the winter,
You know how you can tell?
and it gets cold as balls.
People wear jackets.
yeah.
There's no other time.
Also, you can see his breath at night.
Well, you're
No, he's
talking
just a
like you're
smoker.
talking like down in Ajo in the middle of the night in the winter, like it's 20 degrees. These
Yeah.
rabbits don't want to go out then.
Yeah. They would want to sunbathe.
Yeah.
But either way, even if they were nocturnal, like as nocturnal as this movie poses, I don't think flashlights and headlights would scare them away.
No, they're like
Solar
using-
flares, or not solar flares, the road flares, sure. But headlights?
No.
Come on, guy.
Can we talk
so
about
this is
what
where
movie?
they get to the drive-in.
Can we talk about the movie that's playing at the drive-in?
Oh, yeah. No, your fucking wife spotted that in a second. It took a half a second.
It was Tom and Jerry.
It took my eyes minutes to figure out, or seconds to figure out where she's looking, and then disseminate information.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
oh,
at,
shit,
they're
that
at a
is Tom
drive-in.
and Jerry. Damn.
They're at a drive-in theater, which was a real drive-in theater here in
Yep.
Tucson, Arizona at the time.
That didn't exist when any of us were alive.
No, it closed in 1978.
Well, I'm a
Miracle Mile
Highlander.
Drive-in.
That can be only fun.
Now, this area, by 1978, I'm pretty sure was not good anymore.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
It was a Miracle Mile for a reason.
Yeah, we all know about Miracle Mile.
It's right next to a cemetery, which I think would have been a great place for a drive-in theater to show things like Night of the Living Dead.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You know, stuff like that. It'd be
Fuck
cool.
yeah.
But the police show up at this drive-in theater, and he's basically like, "Hey, everybody! Instead of watching your movie, follow us. We need you to go and shine your lights at some giant rabbits." And everybody's like, "Got it."
Do you read me? They honk the horns. Dude, in today's day and age, you would hear, "Fuck you, pig."
Get out of the way.
Fuck you.
Get fucked, Four Eyes. We're not following you anywhere. Give your balls a tug, tit fucker. There would be so much just like, get the fuck out of the way. You're ruining the movie.
Yeah.
Big fucking rabbits. Who's this guy joking about?
Is he on acid?
But no,
I don't know why all the people in this are from like Minnesota, but
because
'Cause
that's
it's
how I make
Tucson
fun of
in the
people.
winter.
who the fuck you? Yeah, I guess that's fair. It's Tucson. It's Arizona in the winter. It's full of people from fucking Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Let's go,
Who
Packers.
the fuck are you talking to, you motherfucker?
Let's go Packers. I'm from Tucson in the winter.
Mine went a little more Boston, didn't it? Oh, you motherfucker!
I'm going to face the consequences for that one.
Yeah, you are.
But yes, it's a funny thing of just, I don't know, instant. I don't call it patriotism, but just instant. Like, yep,
The authority figure said, "Do this thing," and that's another reason I'm saying this falls under the family friendly like horror movie kind of thing. Because it's like, well, the police said, and the police are good, so let's follow them.
Where's the convertible full of teenagers that are like banging it out? They get eaten by rabbits because they're not listening.
Yeah, it's
That's not
1972. These
family
dudes are getting
family friendly.
stoned.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't like 1951 and we can pretend people weren't smoking weed.
Oh, baby, it's okay. It's all right. He's just fucking around. You know what? Why don't you come over here and get cuddly with me, girl?
He said there's a lot of big rabbits. I think he just saw your bush.
You want to see the rabbit I pull out of my hat? I don't know what that means, but it's going to be weird.
Follow the white rabbit, if you know what I'm saying. Speaking of Follow the White Rabbit, part of the trivia told me that this movie is playing on the television when Neo visits the Oracle in The Matrix 2.
No
Follow,
shit.
follow
Reloaded?
the rabbit down the hole kind of thing. Is
Yeah.
it Matrix 2?
When he's visiting the Oracle, that would be 2.
Well, he goes to number 1 as well.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
There is no
So maybe it
spoon.
must be number 1 then.
I imagine so, because his whole journey starts with the chick with the white rabbit tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
it's
I've watched those
follow
movies
the-
a lot of times. How did I forget? It's because they changed actresses.
Dude,
That
you
fucks
watch a
me
lot
up.
of movies though.
Yeah.
Like, I watch a lot of movies, and you are 3 movies a day average above me.
So they find out that the rabbits are coming to town. They bring all these people.
Oh, the rabbit claus is coming to town.
And so they set up this. Okay, so first, before they set up this trap, Janet Leigh has her daughter locked in the trailer. The rabbits are bearing down upon the trailer. She has road flares. She starts tossing these road flares at these rabbits.
Now we get flaming puppet.
Dude, one of the rabbits caught on fire, and for a split second, Whitney
Oh my
was
god,
like,
I was like, no!
This is what you're worried about with a 72 film,
yeah,
though.
well, because it's real rabbits all around, and you see a rabbit go up, and you're like, "Holy shit! They just lit a rabbit on
they
fire."
did it, those
but then
fucking
You
maniacs.
see the face.
Then the rabbit in front of it moves out of the way. And
Yeah.
You're like, that is definitely a puppet. Thank God.
Thank fucking gods.
Like I said when we were watching this, I was like, if this movie was made in Italy, that might have been a real rabbit. And they end up saving her, but then they have this trap set up. So they got the guy from the railroad station who, it's funny, they call and they're like, is he still there?
By the way, this dude's like pulling teeth talking to him. Like they're asking him very simple stuff like, can we get this track cleared? And he's like, well, this one, yeah, but that one's got a slow train.
I do love, though, at one point they're like, well, he's going to be there unless he got evacuated. And they call him and they're like, oh, thank God you're still there. And he's like, ain't nobody getting me to leave here. I'm like, yeah, well, that's an old white guy.
Unless rabbits can climb ladders.
And that line made me think like, well, you're dead. Rabbits are going to climb those ladders,
Yes.
pal. But no, they didn't. But wouldn't you think that with that line?
Yes.
I'll be safe up here as long as rabbits don't learn how to use doors.
Clever girls.
Clever girls.
So they set up part of the train track. They like take the switch and block it so they can make it electric something.
Yes.
You
something.
betcha, science.
And they have all the people from the drive-in make like an arch, and
A
I thought the
wall
light
of
was supposed to
lights.
scare them away, but it seems like they're pulling them toward the lights.
I think that they were
preventing
funneling
them
him
from
in.
going over that way. They were funneling
Yeah.
him down.
The lights are
Okay.
where the railroad was in electric. Boogie woogie woogie.
They have the lights to lead them that
It's a
way, and
rabbit.
then they
Boogie,
to
boogie,
lead them
boogie.
the other ways. They have National Guard in the bushes firing wildly at them.
Yeah, dude. And you know what you don't see though is anything you just fucking talked about. You see them. You see these National Guard firing these fucking I don't know belt fed M20 maybe, but you see them firing, but you don't see any damage from it. There's no rabbits being
Not
shot.
until this final scene.
Well, okay, yes, because now we get the rabbits just I guess 2 miles being condensed into a tiny stampede.
Yeah, and they get the rabbits to go over these train tracks, and then they start firing at them more to make them go. And so the rabbits are getting electrocuted. They're firing. Everybody is firing. The National Guard, the sheriffs, random fucking farmers.
Fuck yeah, dude. This is okay. So I said this earlier. How do you fix this? You give Americans any amount of money or just the freedom to go hunt these
Yeah.
animals. Done problem.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, Texas, we are not banning any weapons for hunting these giant rabbits. Texas gonna fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Texas
that's-
gonna come through and wipe out them rabbits.
same
dude.
with Arizona.
Arizona gonna wipe out them rabbits.
But so the rabbits are getting electrocuted, and like there's like it's kind of like I think what they did was like film fireworks on one roll and then film these rabbits standing on train tracks on another roll, and then they like layered the two pieces of film together. So because you can see these like very light explosions. And then but in the crowd of rabbits, and I feel kind of bad for the real rabbits because there are just occasional like dummy rabbits that just burst and fly into the air with like fake blood,
which
everywhere.
sends the real rabbit just a fucking running.
Yeah.
Freaking them
These
out.
rabbits, because rabbits' hearts go at like 10,000 beats per minute.
Yeah.
These things are exploding. These rabbits are just dying left and right for real.
There's some rabbit voiceover like, you don't know the hell I've seen. That day, 2-mile long stampede reduced to nothing.
And it just goes for minutes.
What did you
is-
clock it at? 7 minutes?
I was like, this is a wild ass 6 minutes.
Okay.
Because this movie has been boring. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie.
Yeah.
This movie has been boring and laughable at the best.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there is just this, not that it looks good, but 6 to 7 minute onslaught
Just murder montage.
of electrocution and mowing down of bullets of giant rabbits. You're ruining this
and I mean,
meat.
it was some of the best stuff because, like I said, these rabbit dummies just flying into the air with blood just raining down everywhere. I was laughing.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
And they finally kill all the rabbits, and it just shows like this field of carcasses.
Oh.
Some fucking rabbit with blue face comes out, dude. He's like, they may take our lives, but they'll never take our lucky feet. No, they took those too.
They'll take them.
But like you were saying, get some refrigeration going. You're gonna feed this whole fucking area of the state for years.
you can butcher this up and vacuum seal it and have a fucking stockpile.
Yeah.
Dude, you get a little bit of rabbit, you take that lead out, you put in a cup of water, baby. You got,
You
stew
yourself a
going.
stew going. Yeah. But that's the end of that movie. Oh, until the farmer Rory tells Stuart Whitman and Janet Leigh, come visit me sometime. And they're like, yeah, we might do that.
Oh, just
they're
before
back at
that,
the U of A.
just before that, he says like, any sign, and he's like, yeah, there's rabbit holes, but it's like before, not anything is bad. And he's like, all right, that's good. Oh, we'd like to have you out to the ranch sometime. That'd be nice. We'd really like that. Cut to them on the ranch.
Yeah.
And the
we were
fucking
all like,
kids
no, you
running through
wouldn't
the
like that.
goddamn fields.
Yeah. Whitney said it, and I was like, yeah, fuck these kids. You're running through crops.
Yeah. And then they zoom in on two rabbits just sitting there, and it's like, bom, bom, bom.
They're talking about the bad times, like, oh, I saw the day the rabbits blew up. Oh, the smell.
You still, giant or no, rabbits are not menacing.
At all. They're adorable.
Even that little rabbit from Holy Grail.
Yeah, still adorable. Roger Rabbit just wants to play pancake. Sorry,
Patty cake.
Sorry, he would eat a pancake.
Patty cake.
Sorry, I'm hungry. Let's stop at Denny's.
Big pancakes. All right, so around the horn, recommendations. Jack,
No. I mean, there's very
would you like
little
to
here.
elaborate on that? No.
No, just a no. No, I'm gonna do it. It's a no with some very few caveats. Like, I don't know. I did watch this with you guys and drinking, and I still just thought, so what? If you want a movie that you think that you and your friends are funny and quippy, this is a Mystery Science style movie.
Yes.
That's the best thing you can do with it. I don't think I'll ever watch this again. It didn't tickle me.
Wife,
I'm just saying no.
would you like to elaborate on that?
Nope.
All right.
What scenario do I have to get you in to watch this again? Like, what's if at all?
Watch it on mute.
Ooh, I just riff it.
Yeah.
All right, Mystery Science.
Play the
style.
Beastie Boys over it and see if it syncs up. Does
Sabotage.
this sync up with Paul's Boutique?
I do love visuals with different music. I do that shit all the time. This might go on.
I'm just going to start playing this movie and playing different albums and seeing if it syncs up.
Where'd you watch this? Is this free anywhere?
Let me find out. Let me find out for the people.
Okay.
It's a catchy song.
So no, you have to rent it. So yeah, I'm gonna say no also, which I don't say often.
Wow, this might be a long time. I don't think definitely the first all three no of the year.
Yeah.
I think I knowed Remo Williams.
That wasn't this year.
That's
No.
not all three.
That was also 3 months ago as of the release of this.
Yeah.
I think it was my last no.
But also, that's not all three of us.
no, that
Yeah.
was also just you and I. Yeah, you have to rent it so that
Don't.
makes it a little harder.
So just don't.
It's $2.99 to rent, $9.99 to buy. If you really want to watch it, I'd recommend renting it.
Yeah.
Save $7.
But you know who might actually disagree with everything we're saying that usually listens is Serge.
Oh,
Yeah.
He might actually have a spot in his heart for this.
I bet
Well,
he does.
and this movie was recommended by multiple customers from Harbottle, which has the
Yes, I
daytime
will give-
customers are a lot of older guys.
I will give a shout out to my favorite George Williams. Love you.
I think George has told me in the past to do this one. There's another guy named Steve who has told me to do this one.
And no disrespect, this is always no disrespect to anybody that disagrees with us, you know.
Well, I
If
think
you-
it's just they're thinking of bad movies
Yeah.
from when they were younger.
Yeah.
So
If any of you have watched this, please write us what you think about
there's
it.
other movies I would rather not watch than this that we've done.
like if someone put a gun to your head and made you watch either this or Remo Williams.
I'd
This
watch
is- this
Remo
is-
Williams
this
because
is
I haven't
shorter.
seen it yet.
This is shorter.
But Remo Williams has Fred Ward.
Yeah, montaging.
Montage.
I'd rather watch this than Officer Down.
There's there's less racial bad things in this than there are in Remo Williams.
Facts.
This is actually a lot better racially than that movie
This
in
is
every
more
way.
progressive. So yeah, 3 no's all around is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so fuck it then.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
Next week we are done with Arizona movies. We're moving into March. Beep, beep, beep. This is Derek interrupting the show because I said the wrong movie next, because it turns out the movie we wanted to watch isn't available anywhere. So instead, our next episode is a listener-requested episode called Deadly Run. Send us an email, badmoviesworstpeople@gmail.com. Tell us some funny stories about going to see movies. Tell us some funny stories in general. Tell me a story about that time you shit your pants. It's great. It's good stuff for the air.
I don't know why he's looking right at me.
You're across from me.
He
We wanna
looked
thank-
deep into your soul.
We want to thank Evasion for providing our opening and closing music. Don't forget to check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/worstpeople, not worst, worsty people,
Sneaky
worsty people.
snake.
It's like horse, but with a w. Worst people.
That's not confusing. That's the best way to say that.
Patreon.
Hey, think of horseradish and then drop the radish and change the H to a W. Worse radish without the radish. Worse. That's what we're saying. Think of bratwurst. Drop the T. Get rid of the brat. It's just worse. Worse people. Liver worst people without the liver. That's what we're doing.
I feel like mine was a lot less confusing than all of that. Patreon.com/worstpeople. $3 a month. You can get
It's a
some
good
extra
recovery.
shit. All right.
Love
That's it for this week. I'm sure there's other things I'm supposed to say, but I'm not gonna.
Think of Asian. Think Harbottle.
We did all that stuff.
Okay,
Wait,
well,
we didn't
then
do
get
Harbottle.
outta
Go to
here.
Harbottle.
Get out.
Go to Harbottle. Drink beer.
Say
get
your
$1
name.
off. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack. And
night.
damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a veterinarian. The weather outside is rabbits. Fucking chicks is all my habits. If there's no place to go, stay inside and do some blow. Do some blow. Give me blow.
Oh, I love it.
If you've thought about recording a podcast before, but like myself, realize you need a lot of different tools and services, well, those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and easily distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. You can record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests and feel a sense of zen knowing that Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. possible. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code WORSTPeople. That's WORSEPEOPLE, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experience I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.